Hey, how y'all doing out there once again? It's your boy coming back at you, Pastor Derek, with another session for men. I'm here to encourage men who want to change and better their life and stop making the same mistakes that they've been making over the years. I realize that I'm not on Facebook with a whole lot of men that might need to hear this session. So if you know a man, please get this video to him. It's only going to be about 10 minutes, but I tell you that it will encourage him and have him to look at himself and realize that there's something in his life that he needs to change. Matter of fact, that's the topic for today is change or die. Change or die. Now, I spoke this message before, but it's one that I feel that I probably will be speaking for the rest of my life because it has to do with an eagle. And as we know, the eagle is a great symbol. Eagle represents power and strength. But one thing about an eagle can live up to 70 years old. That's a long time for a bird. But in order for that eagle to live for 70 years, at the age of 40, the eagle realizes one thing. The eagle realizes that he has to change or he will die. Yes, he realizes that if he wants to live, then he has to change. What happened? What's going on? When an eagle reached the age of 40, he realizes that his beak is no longer useful to him as it was in his younger days when he could use it. Also, he realizes that his talons are no longer gripping and holding his prey. And he realizes that his wings are no longer doing what they need to do to keep him flying high and soaring through storms. He realizes that he had used them up, and in order for him to continue to live and survive, that he must change. Now, this change that he realizes he must go through is very, very difficult. It's full of pain. And I want us brothers to understand that in order to change, sometimes, man, look, there's going to be some pain involved in order for us to change. Also, what the eagle realizes is that in order for him to change, there's going to be some pain, but he also has to be by himself. One of the most frightening things for men who are trying to change like us, who've come from urban environments, we are so afraid of being alone. And that's why the minute soon as we get home from prison, soon as we come out of halfway houses, rehabs, the first thing that we do is try to reconnect with old relationships. Some of them relationships are, first of all, is with a woman because she makes you think that everything's all right and you're back on the right path. And also, many of us go run right back around the same neighborhood, same friends that we had all our lives and never benefit nothing from them. So one thing the ego realizes is that he's going to be alone. So at the age of 40, this is what the eagle does. The eagle flies up to the highest peak of a mountain. And he gets up on that mountain and he's by himself. And what he begins to do is just crazy. He begins to bang his beak off of the rock until the old beak is gone. Painful. He's all alone. He's by himself, but he is taking the things out of his life that is no longer useful to him and no longer can provide for him what he needs. So he bangs his beak off and he waits 3 months for it to grow back. Then he rips his talons out and waits another 3 months for them to heal. Then he rips his old feathers out and he waits for them to heal as well. So in this process, he's went through 9 months of pain, 9 months of being alone, 9 months of nothing but him dealing with what he needs to do to better himself. And I just don't understand like why some of us men believe that we could do all the things we've been doing for 20 and 30 and 40 years and we think that we're fixed fixed in 2 weeks. We think we fixed in 28 days. We think we are fixed in a month or two, and then everything's supposed to get better, and we ain't supposed to feel nothing. We ain't supposed to go through nothing. We ain't supposed to deal with ourselves. But the eagle knows that in order for him to be an eagle, which an eagle represents power and strength, in order for an eagle to soar, an eagle must change. And I'm telling brothers here today, in order for you to change, in order for you to realize what you need to realize about yourself, you got to go through some pain. You got to go be alone. You got to look at the things that in your life that's no longer working, no longer can help you, no longer can get you what you need. And if you're not willing to change to better yourself, then you will starve. Starve. And what I mean by that is you won't be able to provide for you later on because you're still using and doing the same old thing, which all of us realize after a certain period of time of our negative activities, that the things that we used to do that got us over and got us what we want no longer are working for us anymore. You know, we had these young girls and we talked to them and we got their money. We was able to stay with them. We was able for them to fix us food, but now they wised up and they don't want to have nothing to do with us no more. We can't depend on our parents no more because we wore them out, used them up, abused them, and mistreated them, that they're done to the point that they still love you, but they don't want to deal with you any longer. You used up what you've been using and it's no longer working anymore. And if you are a man and you ready to change, then you got to get ready to be alone and you got to be ready to go through some pain. Every man has to go through some kind of transformation in order for him to become better, stronger than the man that he was. It's no different from me. It's no different from you, but you got to understand, in order to be what you need to be, you got to take some things out of your life. And one thing that I liked about this story about the eagle was an eagle don't hang with chickens. See, an eagle realizes who he needs around him. He realizes those things that are around him that suck up all of his strength. So he don't hang with chickens, because the most vulnerable place for an eagle is to be on a ground where chickens are. And some of y'all can't get what you need is because you hanging around chickens and you're an eagle. I'm here to tell you, brothers, that you have what it takes and you got what it takes to be the man that you want to be. But you got to be willing to change, and you got to be willing to go through something, and you got to be willing to give up something. If you don't give something up, then you can't get nothing. You can't continue to do the same thing with the things that you have that are no longer working. It only makes sense to realize that I'm not getting what I want. I've been doing the same thing and I'm not getting the same thing back that I used to get. What that indicates is there's a time for you to change. Change your methods, change your thinking, change your decision making, change the people that you're hanging around, change your motivation. And when you do that, you will realize that the time that you spent alone that was painful, the time that you gave something up that no longer was useful to you, the time that you spend by yourself will be beneficial to you, because what you now will see that you are much stronger than you were. Now, what happens with the eagle is the eagle goes on to live 30 more years successfully. He's stronger, he's better, he can fly higher, he can grip his prey, he can also provide for himself. Everyone has to change, especially men like us. Change is hard for all of us. But as a man that did so many things that we know that we shouldn't have done, and if we want to do better, then we got to realize we got to get rid of some stuff that's no longer working in our lives. If the eagle don't change, there's no telling when he's going to die. But shortly after that 40 years, he no longer would be the predator that he was created to be. He will no longer be able to fly and soar into storms that won't even hurt him any longer. because he didn't realize the things that worked for him for so many years no longer works for him. I'm telling my brothers here today that some of the stuff you've been doing haven't been working for years. It's time to change. And I believe that you can change. I believe that you can go and be alone. I believe that you can go through the pain. I believe that you can take the time you need to better yourself so that your life could be better in the future. Listen, man, I just want to tell all you brothers once again that I love you. I'm praying for you and I believe in you. But the time is to ask yourself now, is it time for me to change? Or am I going to die? Until the next time that I see you, man, it's your boy, Pastor Derek, hollering at you. I love you and God bless you till the next time.